What's up everybody, Gerald here and welcome back to another video. It's Wednesday, August the 8th and this is our first session back after having a few weeks off. I haven't been down here since my birthday, and for my birthday I finally got my third Whitewood Exorcist reel. Happy now that everything matches, and I also got my snag ears, so now everything matches and my setup's finally complete, so I'm really happy about that. So thank you wife, and thank you Milo, my wonderful fur baby, for that. We're back down here and we are in the shallows, what was formerly known as shallows. I'm now calling it the jungle. Let me just show you why. It is completely overgrown. Now if you remember a few sessions back we fished in here with Pat and we managed to get 2 people, and my rods are actually pretty much where this bush was. Now there's no chance of having 2 people in here. I've got my rods so snuck out for a little gap there. I'll show you where they are and what bait we've got on in a moment. But we've also got a special guest with us today, Scudder. He's down in the tension where I would normally fish. He's been there a couple of nights. He managed to have a nice 15-pound common the other night.
What's going on guys? Scudder reporting for Gerald Full TV. Just down the Members Lake. Came down yesterday about 3:30 in the afternoon. The rods were in the water. Managed to nick a fish this morning about 5:30. Weighing just over 15 pound, nice looking chestnut common. Just going to talk you through a bit about the rig I was using really. So it's a bit of 25-pound Nash braid, weed colour. Just tied a basic hair rig, popped a shot about 2 inches from the hook with the Northern Specials bait just there. See more Northern Specials. I've had a lot of success with them, so gave them a go. I always like to trim the pop-up down to give it a bit of an unnatural looking shape. This makes the fish a little bit more intrigued. Yeah, so other than the fish, I've seen one cruising, and I've heard a couple of crashes out this morning. It's going to be warm again today, so not too sure how we'll get on in the day, but we'll see how we go. Got the rods back out on the spots again now, nice and tight to the far bank, so fingers crossed I'll be able to nick another one and get some decent pictures of this one. Tight lines and wet nets. What's going on guys? Just having a TV. Thought we might want to, you know, share the moment, so let's do this. What's going on guys? Scudder here again. Just want to give you an update of what's been going on. There's not too much to report, to be honest. I had a few beeps on my left rod earlier. I just put a couple of bits of corn on that. Yeah, but I'd imagine it was probably just one of the smaller fish. Managed to pick it up and move it, as opposed to a carp taking it and running with it. But other than that, it's been quite quiet. I've been trying to walk around the area around me, climbed up the tree just to my left just to see if I can see anything happening, but they're quite elusive in here, the carp, so it's hard to sort of see what's going on. But I'm back out on the spots. One spot where I produced a fish this morning, and another spot where Gerald has previously fished and had fish from, so I'm optimistic to get another one. My third rod I'm just sort of moving every couple of hours around, see if I can find little clear patches, stuff like that. But yes, it's just got a bit overcast now, so that might make them get their heads down a bit more. We'll have to see what happens. So hopefully I'll be able to come back with a catch report in the not too distant future. Tight lines.
I've left him with a camera down there, so you'll get his point of view from the day as well, and we've got our communication devices so we can communicate. Hello, hello, come in, come in.
Yo, yo, yo.
Say hello to YouTube.
Hello YouTube, what's happening?
So yeah, so we can communicate that way. So if he gets a fish, I can run down there and help him out.
What's going on, guys? Scudder here. Just trying out a new camera that Gerald's just dropped down. He's just arrived at the lake. He's going around to the shallows to get himself set up. So yeah, fingers crossed I'll be able to make a few videos now. Hopefully with some fish to report. Obviously Gerald will hopefully be doing his own vlogs over there, and he'll have a few fish for you as well. Nice one.
So let's just show you where the rods are. We have got one right in there over the bank. That's the right hand rod. That's got a cell pop up on it. The middle rod is right off this tree down that bank over there. That's got a pineapple pop up on it. And then the left hand rod is basically right over by the island in that gap over there, and that has got the butterstick boilie pop up on it. So we're fishing all pop ups again as normal, just because of the amount of weed. As you can see, all the surface weed is pretty much gone. That's just where it's rained, it's probably all sunk. It will be back, no doubt. The sun is out, so it's going to get warm again. We've had a really warm spell. It's been about 30-32 degrees all week, and last week and the week before, so I decided to give the lake a rest and leave it alone. Now whether the fish are going to turn on, because it's starting to cool down, we've got a drop of about 10 degrees, so it's about 22-23, but it still feels really warm, so it might be a little bit more than that. But over the next few days it's going to get overcast and rainy, so the fish might start to turn on now, hopefully. So it's just gone 10 o'clock. And Scudder has unfortunately lost one down there in the tent swim, just down there. Now 10 o'clock seems to be a good time over there. I've had both my fish at about 10 and he's just lost one at 10, so fish are on the feed, which is great. Since we've been here last, there's been a few changes. Now they're going to allow us to use bait boats in here, which is going to be an absolute game changer for a lot of people, because this island over here, as you can see, has got so many overhanging trees, so many snags along there. You'll be able to present a bait much nicer right along that bank. It's not impossible to cast over there. I've been doing it out of the tent swim for the last few sessions. Scudder's been able to do it today. And again, there's also a few snags here you'll be able to present a bait in nicely all along these trees. So the use of a bait boat will be helpful, probably be better for fish safety and for the lake as well. There won't be as many leads in trees and bait sitting in trees and hooks and everything for the ducks and everything to get caught on. So that's a good rule change. So yeah, a bait boat will be the next thing that I'm investing in. Let's take a nice sip of tea while I'm sitting here. I'm not going to get a super expensive one, but I will get one with a fish finder on it, just so we can work out the depth of the lake as well. Now the lake's going to be managed slightly different next season as well, we've just found out. Probably for the better, hopefully. Swims are going to be a lot more kept. As you can see, it's very overgrown at the minute and not a lot of people have done anything to it. There was supposed to be a work party this weekend, but it doesn't look like much got done. But we're not complaining, I wasn't here, so can't complain.
So guys, yeah, I thought I'd show you a bit about where I'm fishing. So here you can see me swim. Quite a tight swim. I'll stand back a bit so we can see. Got my brolly here, and then there's my rods. I'll show you the two spots that I'm currently fishing in. So if we look out to the far bank, just on the tree line, so yeah, I've got one just in tight there. I sort of found this area in the middle here where there's a bit of like a recess. A little bit of weed was in there, so I've kind of pulled my rods out a bit from there. and my right hand rod is over onto this side, just about in there, and that's actually where I got the fish from yesterday morning. So yeah, it's just a bit about where I am and what I'm doing. The run I had yesterday was just down in the snags here, but that didn't come to anything. And then, like I say, I lost one this morning. I think Gerald's actually just lost one recently as well, so hopefully his luck will change. But yeah, the one I lost was actually over on this left hand point here. So I've been putting a little bit more bait in because it's the last down here, so I thought, well, I've got some to use up, see if I can get a little bit more interest, maybe 20-30 boilies every couple of hours. So yeah, fingers crossed, we'll see how we get on. Cheers.
So I've just reeled in the left hand rod because I wasn't too happy, and let me just show you what I've brought in. That is the sort of weed we are dealing with at the minute in this lake. Slip there, just getting the carpy Instagram photo. When I got here, I had a really quick walk round to see if I could see any fish. I didn't really see any signs of any fish, and with James being in the tench swim, I wanted to be relatively close, so I decided I was either going to fish in the platform or in here. Now I looked at the platform and I liked the look of it. I could fish to the snag where I fished before and hooked a fish and lost it. The only problem was the whole right hand side of the lake was basically still quite weedy, and I felt like I wouldn't be able to get all 3 rods out in the swim. So I decided to come up here in the shallows. I've got a bit more water to play with. I've got a lot of different spots that I can fish. I've just reeled in the left hand rod, as you've seen, and it had a load of weed on it, and now I've chucked it right down to the far left hand snag, which we would normally fish from the tench swim. Now James isn't fishing to that snag, so I've chucked my left hand rod all the way down there. I've just catapulted a few boilies out around it as well. I'm trying a slightly different bait technique. I've put, I'd say, 30 to 40 freebies on the left and right hand rod, and on the middle rod as well, actually saying that, all scattered it all around. Now I'm trying to put in a lot of bait just to see whether that brings the fish in. I'm hoping they're going to switch on and start feeding because it's starting to cool down. The light levels are very much so up and down at the minute, so the water's very murky, whereas normally it's clear. So high visibility baits. I've got high attraction flavoured baits on. Hopefully we're going to get a bite. Right, it's 11:30. No bites yet. I'm sitting here watching Gordon Ramsay on my phone. I've got the kettle on. James has just gone for a walk down the bank and he's just radioed me, said he hasn't seen anything. There's nothing up here either. He walked up to this spot here and had a look, couldn't see anything either, so he's just gone further down round to see if we can spot any fish. It's all quiet down in his swim as well. So what I've been doing is I've been trickling in some bait just down the margin here off that tree, and I don't know if you can hear, but there seems to be something going on down there in that snag. It sounds like a fish on the surface just sucking at the weed. So I've just gently underarm cast my bait down there. It was a left hand rod, so hopefully we can get something. So it's just gone 12 o'clock and I've just lost a fish on the right hand rod. I was just explaining in a video that I'd moved the left hand rod and was just freelining it down into this margin because I could hear a fish in the snags. When the right hand rod tore off, as I've stuck into it, the line's cut down under the surface and got caught on a load of surface weed, so I couldn't get the rod up and the line tight enough to stop the fish from getting into the snag, unfortunately, and it dove straight in under the trees and snapped me off. It was there, it felt like an alright fish, probably a mid-double I'd say, but fish is a fish. Absolutely gutted to have lost it. Never mind. So now I've just taken the right hand rod, which I was, oh sorry, the left hand rod, which I was free lining down into here, and I've just put that back in the spot where the right hand rod was, and now I've got to re-rig this rod. Absolutely gutted. So I've been sitting here thinking about that lost fish. There weren't much I could have done about it. I'm now sitting basically right on top of my rods rather than further back in the swim. What happened was, as I've lifted the rod and struck, the line has gone straight down and under. You see this tiny patch of weed here, straight down under it, and then the line that came out underneath the weed was a little bit slack. Obviously, as I'm lifting the rod, the line's going tight, it's got slack line, the fish has managed to pick up, bolt to the right, and it's gone right into the corner of this snag over here in this tree and locked me up solid. I tried putting the rod down and letting it try and swim back out. It was still on. Not a lot happened, so I picked the rod up and it was locked solid. Couldn't feel the fish. Pulled as hard as I could just to see, and then the line snapped, unfortunately. So that fish is lost. Now, as I was trying to explain as I was getting a bite, the left hand rod is in and is now very strangely sitting quite bolt upright, very continental style, just here. And I've got a bait just down in under this tree. I've got a bottom bait down under there. There's a lot of fish activity in this snag over here, a lot of sucking of the weed. I could hear the carp just making that slurpy noise, so I've just chucked a bottom bait in under there. I've put a few freebies around it. Let's see if we can get a bite.
Gerald's gay and he can't blow up balloons.
The time is 1:30 and it's all quiet on the lake for both me and James. Since I lost that fish on the right hand rod, I haven't seen any signs of any fish. The only thing really that's been going on is a couple of squirrels to my left having a bit of a barney. I've just made myself a nice cup of tea. We're just going to sit here for a couple more hours and just see if we can get another bite or another run. I think I might have missed my chance of a fish today, but you never know. One might come along and just take a fancy to the bait and take it. So for the last hour or so we've made a move. We're going to fish the last hour in the waterfall swim. There is a waterfall just here behind this bush, which is bringing fresh oxygen into the water. It's very shallow here. I've got all 3 rods out. If I do hook a fish, it is going to be pandemonium because the 3 rods in such a small space is going to be hard work. But I have got one just off this bush, one just basically under this tree up against the bank, and then the 3rd rod, I'll show you where that is down over there. So all 3 rods are quite a close space. I put a few freebies around. Let's see what happens. So the time's 3 o'clock and it is absolutely dead down here. We're going to give it half hour and then we're both going to pack up and get ourselves off home.
Hey everybody, just coming to the end of the 48-hour session down at the Members Lake. We'll do one last quick clip. It's been an alright weekend. 48 hours, like I say, 1 fish, 1 take, which snagged me up and I lost, and then 1 aborted take, which was a run, but there was nothing there. So it's a bit bittersweet. I'm obviously always pleased to catch. £15 4-ounce common yesterday morning. I know Gerald's lost a fish. He lost it in the snags, so it's probably a bit of a frustrating day for him as well. It's 20 past 3. We'll give it another 10 minutes, bring the rods in. And until next time, tight lines and wet nets.
So we're all packed up and ready to go home after yet another frustrating session down here on the lake after losing that fish. I'm going to start concentrate using the pineapple and cell pop-ups because that seems to be what all the runs are coming on. I haven't had a bite on the butterstick, so I'm going to scrap that now. I need to learn how to combat the surface weed a little bit better. So next time I'm down here, I'm going to have my rod slightly higher. The tips will be slightly higher so the line arcs out and over the top of the weed, rather than having the weed come over the top of the line, so that when I strike into the fish, we haven't got the tight line down to the weed and then slack behind it. I'm not sure when I'm going to be able to get back down here, but when I do, we're really going to go out and see if we can catch some of the fish. So until then, tight lines, wet nets, and I'll see you all soon.